Y'all know me. I got to get my stuff together. Okay. Hi, Yashua. I'm getting better at it, guys. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at being here on time, and I'm getting better at making sure that my stuff is together. Okay, so I'm gonna put my phone here to the side because we know I need it. My behind is really blind. And we're gonna get this started. Just 1 second. So, welcome, my wonderful, beautiful survivors. Hi, Stella. I'm happy that you're here. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that more and more people are joining us. Thank you. I actually decided to do au natural today, guys. My natural hair. I decided to give my my little. Most of you know I wear extensions. I'm no problem admitting that. You know, I cut my hair a long time ago, and it's growing out. And you know, every so often, if you see me with short hair and then you see me with long hair, yes, I wear extensions. I'm perfectly okay with that. Lord knows I spend enough money on it. So, but today I decided to keep it natural, keep it short. Oh, you're a hairstylist. Oh, Stella. I could always use a hairstylist for a friend, you know? I was actually contemplating on cutting it shorter because I usually have it like asymmetrical. I cut it short in the back and I leave it long in the front. And I did it years ago, and you know, I decided to put in extensions every so often. You know, just when I'm feeling kind of like fabulous, so to speak. Manda. All right, so guys, my beautiful, lovely, wonderful, amazing survivors, welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. Today is Talk About It Tuesday. That's what we're going to start calling this. Talk About It Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live with all of the survivors of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, any type of abuse. We don't limit it just to narcs. And if you are new to the channel, then stick around. You may hear something that you may, need to know pertaining to your situation. And if you like today's session, go through some of the other content on my channel. And if you find it to be helpful, if you find any of my content to be helpful, then please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you're notified every time I do a video. And of course, when we're going to be going live. And of course, to all of my existing Vibe tribes, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much, Stella. Thank you. So, guys, today is Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Weather again is getting beautiful, guys. It's getting really beautiful. So, we got to start picking up the pace on our healing because, it's getting beautiful outside. You want to, be your fine, gorgeous selves in this beautiful spring weather, which will be going into summer very soon. And, Lord knows this pandemic that hit us put enough stress on us. So we definitely need this. Just a couple of announcements. One, I'm going to be working on my video on the Female Narcissist / Sociopath crash course. Now, I was contemplating on possibly doing a live rather than making the video. I'm still contemplating it. I'm still going to think about it because if I decide to do the video, then I'm going to be recording tomorrow so I can post it up. I will put it up on my community board by tonight or tomorrow morning. In the meantime, still in the community board, I did put up a post notifying everyone that I'm going to be putting up the video for this particular crash course. So if you still have questions, put it on that post in the community board. I'm going to answer all of your questions on this video or in this live, depending on which route I go. I will definitely keep you guys posted. And if I don't have a chance to update it, I'll ask Amanda to see if she can do it for me. Hi, Madison. Oh, Madison, yes. Thank you for being here. Green, what's going on, sweetheart? So, yeah, I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. I might do a live. I might just do the video. Well, we'll see. But either way, it's going to get done. It's going to get done because I know a lot of you guys need this crash course. Okay. Dealing with female narcissists, it's a lot harder than dealing with male narcissists. Believe it or not, it definitely is a lot harder. Even though, listen, all narcissists, we don't want to deal with them at all, but it is what it is, guys. These people are unfortunately going to continue being who they are. And what are we going to do about it? Like, really, not really much we can do about it. So, but be on the lookout for it, guys. I'm definitely going to keep you guys posted. All right, Stella, I have a question. The ex-narc I dated was posting photos from Google being on a patio restaurant dates. I found these photos. He was lying to his FB friends and family. He wasn't there. Hi, Heather. Hi, my love. Well, this is actually my natural length. I haven't cut it in a long time. I just trimmed it, but this is my my natural length. Stella, here's the thing about them. They're inherent liars, number one. Okay. They are completely just, they eat, breathe, sleep, drink, bathe, lies. What narcissistic people or, narcs, what they do is they have an image that they have to try to maintain in front of the public. Now, in this case, it sounds a lot more like on that scale of superficial narcissism. And basically what I mean by that is they're trying to impress people, or they're trying to basically project this false perception of themselves. And when they do this, they're basically trying to give people the impression that they live a certain type of lifestyle. They are certain, they're a certain type of way, and they have to basically be consistent with it. Let's face it, we repost stuff that we find on Google, we find on Instagram, we find on Facebook, and things to that effect. But when it boils down to trying to create a type of lifestyle that really does not exist, like if you've ever seen those types of posts, be careful what you post online, because some people know you in real life. That's pretty much how a lot of the superficial narcissists are. They like to post up fantasies. They love to live in fantasy worlds. They love to, it's the idea. It's the idea. And because they are very delusional people, they have to pose this delusion in front of other people. So that's probably more common with, it's common with a lot of narcissists, but it's probably most common with somatic narcissists. Those are the ones that are just like they're posers, extreme posers. And maybe some of you can see them. You can like actually see for yourselves. You can see like how people will put up different types of posts, or take photos. Like if they're going on vacation, or if they're going to certain places, they'll take like a numerous amount of pictures just to kind of keep everybody up to date, when the reality is they're just basically trying to present something that isn't really real. Like if you have a narcissist who goes on, let's say, a trip, right? They go on a trip somewhere, but the money to take care of that trip, to take care of the meals, to take care of the accommodations isn't coming out of their pockets. It's coming out of someone else's pockets. But they're like posting pictures and they're doing all kinds of stuff. And people are looking at that as, wow, this person has it made. Like they're traveling, they're going here, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're giving you the impression that, yeah, I got this money and I'm going places and I'm doing all of this, but they're not really being forthcoming as far as truth-wise. They're not really saying, well, I have an all expense paid trip by so-and-so, or this person is taking me on a trip to Aruba or Jamaica or wherever. It's more so they're trying to give that false impression. So by him taking photos, and whether they Photoshop the photos or they're, it's all about attention. That's all it is. All about attention. They have to keep it going, because the attention that they get from the public is what feeds them. feeds them their supply, it strokes their ego, it makes them feel important, it makes them feel like they're, that they're somebody. And the reality is, as we know, as genuine people, it's not, what you make, it's not where you go, it's not what you wear that, makes you. It's clearly who you are as a person. But unfortunately, we live in a world that more so supports the idealistic type of lifestyles. Okay, everybody is, and we're being honest about it. If you look on social media and you see, all these couples, or you see these people traveling around the world, taking crazy amounts of photos and putting them up, in front of beaches and mountains, and just all over the place, that looks just so high sedity and fancy and just really expensive. It's all a form of attraction. It's to attract attention. So that's more than likely the reason why this person was doing that. They're just trying to attract attention, and they're trying to attract attention based on false pretenses. A lot of narcissists do that. A lot of them do that. Yes, Heather, they create narratives. Hi, Raphael. Madison, what does your chest tattoo say? I like your look and how you break things down. Thank you. Simply and able to understand. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Madison. Yeah, my tattoo, I got this tattoo years ago. But it says show no love, feel no pain. And the irony, because I've showed love to a lot of people, whether it be family, friends, or even in my relationships. And there's a reason why I still have this tattoo on my chest. Now, just if only I can follow it. But, that's another story. Yeah, Stella, it's all about creating that impression. It's all about, living in a fantasy world. That's what it is. A lot of narcissists tend to spend money. Well, we know that narcissists, a lot of them are very irresponsible. Okay, they're very irresponsible people, but they will spend money on expensive things, or they'll spend money on things that they know people will want. I mean, if you're someone who likes to have designer clothes, okay, you have people who like designer clothes, and we know designer clothes, designer purses, designer makeup, whatever, is expensive. Okay, it's expensive. So when you see people walking around with this, like I've seen a Coach bag, and it wasn't even a big one at that. I saw a Coach bag that was like almost $5,000. I'm like, $5,000 for a Coach bag? Really? Like, who would spend their money on this? There are people who will spend $5,000, especially people who have never had that growing up. So they would put themselves in debt just to have these things to impress other people, and to kind of give them that, well, I'm an important person because I can afford all these things. Meantime, they're living off of ramen noodles. You understand? They will do anything to gain attention. And that's one thing I've noticed when it boils down to social media, when it boils down to, it's that high increase of competition. Everybody's competing with one another. This one gets a Louis V bag, that one gets a Coach, that one gets a Prada, that one gets a Gucci. And it's, if you notice, it goes higher and higher and higher. Like it's all about competing with one another. And when it boils down to a narcissist is not new when it comes to competition. Not new at all. They are the ones who like to, outdo people. They like to have the upper hand. They basically like to one up people. So if you notice yourself being around people who value material things more than they value genuine aspects, I'm not going to flat out call them a narcissist, but those are tendencies. Okay. Remember, guys, this, the channel is not only just for narcissists, but it's for people who have characteristics, who have tendencies, and yeah, who are full-blown narcs. You gotta be careful. Whichever way you look at it, you have to be careful, because these types of people will really drag you down. They will really drag you down. They will really drain you on so many different levels. And it does not have to just be your relationship, your romantic. It could be your family. It can be your circle of friends. It can be at work. It can be anywhere. All right. And that's the key thing we have to understand. One of the things that I'm going to do for the Female Narcissist crash course is I'm going to give you different aspects. I'm going to give you a narcissist female ex-girlfriend. I'm going to give you a narcissist mother. I'm going to give you a narcissist, friend. These different people who play different roles, a lot of them have a lot of the same qualities. However, depending on the role that they're playing in your life, you're like, for example, if you're a narcissist mother and your narcissist friend, they may have certain qualities that resemble, but chances are your narcissist mother has more of a stronghold on you than your narcissist friend. You understand? So we have to also keep in mind that there's a lot more to it, guys. Way more to it. Hi, Mary. How are you? Yes, Madison. It can be strangers too. I've seen so many different types of people who are, narcissists are attention seekers. They love the attention, and they're willing to do what it takes to gain that attention. Even if it means exploiting themselves, they will do that. Like, when you have these celebrities, right? And they have like accidental sex tapes leaked out, and it's accidentally leaked out into social media. They are exploiting themselves because of the attention, because of the money, because of the clout, because of all of that. Are they narcissists? I can't call it. But a lot of their tendencies, a lot of celebrities, especially those who allowed money and fame and all kinds of unnecessary things, they allow all of this to really take over them and utilize it to, I would not exploit myself. Like, that's like got to be pretty low to, where narcissists don't value themselves, but people who are desperate in that case, they'll be willing to do anything possible just to gain something, any kind of attention. Narcissists like any type of attention, whether it be negative or positive attention. Okay, because either way, they're getting attention. They're getting some type of reaction. They're getting something out of other people, and it could be at the cost of someone else's sanity. It could be at the cost of, someone else's health. It could be anything. It can be anything. These people would be willing to go to any lengths just to say, I win. I won. I got over. And nobody's going to stop me. Nobody's going to call me out. Nobody's going to say anything. That's pretty much why, I don't know how many of you are dealing with them, and what type of situation you're currently in, or the type of situation you were in. But they find it easy to, especially if you're not willing to, which it takes time, guys. Don't sit there and say to yourself, oh, I must be weak because I haven't fully let go, or I haven't fully moved on, or I haven't fully healed from the situation. You're not weak. You're human. You are human. So while they are bouncing around and living it up as you're posing and dealing with new sources of supply and different people, you're trying to get through your emotions. You're trying to heal. You're trying to understand. And it's going to take you time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in, if you're going to therapy in one session, it's going to take time. All right. And I know a lot of people want to just hurry up and get over it and just say, you know what, screw this. I'm done. I'm healed. I'm moved on. But the reality of it is that if you don't heal properly, you are going to be triggered. You're going to, so if you suppress everything and say, okay, you know what, it is what it is, and I'm moving on from it. And, you say you decide to go into something different or something new with someone else, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up hurting someone else who had nothing to do with the scars that you received from that other person. So you have to be very, very, very careful, but you have to pace yourself. Pace yourselves. I know as humans, we are very impatient. We can be impatient. I trust me, I'm one of them. I can be an impatient person. But when it boils down to my healing and mental health and just my life in general, I'm taking all the time that I need, because what's meant for me is always going to be there regardless. So I'm not worried about it. Okay. Nim says, some will spend $5,000 on a bag, not open it to give someone home. Yeah. You have a lot of narcissists that would, again, they put themselves in debt. They would be willing to put themselves in debt just to have the latest thing, the latest style, and again, this is to impress people. Not only impress, but kind of, it's more of a show off. It's just a show off, show people, yeah, I have all this name brand stuff. I have all this designer clothing and I have all of that. And it's all for show. That's all it is. It's just to show off that self-absorption that, it's you guys know how I feel about it. I never really found it necessary to indulge in things like that because it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I could be utilizing this money for something else, something more important. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. There's nothing wrong with if you can, but if you can afford it and you enjoy it and it makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good to have it and it makes you feel good to say, yeah, you know what? I always wanted this bag. I finally saved up, I saved up enough money to buy this bag and it's mine and I'm happy with it. But narcissists don't know humility. They don't know how to be humble people. They're always constantly, I bought this $3,000 bag. So, I bought these, $800 shades. I bought these, these new, what are they called? The shoes with the red bottoms. I bought these new. I have to. I was just talking to Amanda earlier, and lately I have been binge watching. I don't know why. Please don't ask me why, guys. But I was binge watching Love and Hip Hop, and I mean, a lot of us, watch it for entertainment purposes. I was basically, while I'm at work, I listen to YouTube and stuff like that, and I was just listening to it, and it's all the world loves drama, all the world loves entertainment, okay? But if you really like, as I'm looking and I'm watching this show and I'm seeing these different females and I'm seeing all of the stuff that they are doing, because one, I'm gonna just say it, it's a highly exploitative show, okay? I'm pretty sure a lot of you know that. Highly exploitative. And a lot of people, because they need money, they it's what pays them, it's what does pays the bills. A lot of people are willing to put themselves out there on Front Street to be noticed, to be known. And in watching this show, I've seen a lot of the females, and I'm watching, I'm just observing, I'm watching. I mean, I know a lot of it is probably scripted, probably, which means I'm not confirming or denying that it is, but it looks like it is. It looks like it's just like a lot of, a lot of stuff going on. But at the end, if you really think about it, whether it's real or not, guys, if you ever saw the show and you ever seen people, like seeing how they act on the show, a lot of them, that's how narcissistic people are. That's how narcissistic people are. Where one minute they're abusing someone, they're talking behind someone's back, they're manipulating the situation, and then the next minute they're crying as a victim. They're crying as a victim. I've seen plenty of deflection. I've seen plenty of, the shifting of the blame. I've seen plenty of clearly infidelity. But again, a lot of this is on the cameras. A lot of this is for show. But if you really think about it, if you've ever seen the show, you will see that that's how narcissistic people are. They're it's all about exposure. It's all about attention. It's all about, and it's just the classic, the fakeness. Like that is a narcissist MO. Okay. I've seen manipulative men on there. I've seen constant where someone is hurt, they're angry at how the person treated them, or how the person cheated on them or did whatever, and that person is responding in such a manipulative way, and just it's like, so you could just feel the coldness and the callousness. It's about exploitation. A narcissist, again, they'll stoop as low as exploiting themselves, but not before they exploit you. So not before they put you on Front Street. Okay. And matter of fact, when I do the crash course, I'm going to explain to you how a lot of these female narcissists, especially if you have ladies, if you have a female friend, or if you have female friends, how they exploit their friends, how they, like some of them are like I call them the fence hoppers, where they're on the fence between two people. This is why I said in my video, the types of people you shouldn't deal with. Do not deal with people who deal with people that you do not mess with, that you do not like, you don't deal with them on any type of level. If you have your reason for not dealing with those people, a narcissist, what they will do, depending on how you supply them, depending on what you can do to give them their supply. Okay. Because if you had a narcissist friend and they knew certain personal things about you, they knew secrets about you, they were your confidants, they were people that you can confide in. If you do not give them the supply that they deem fit, they will go to the person or people that you don't deal with, and they will tell all your secrets. They will tell everything about you. They will pretty much, they're backstabbers. They'll stab you right in the back and not think twice about it. And in fact, if you were to confront them, or if you were to, call them out on it, they will, because clearly you would be upset and clearly you will be reactive. They will play the victim, because that's how conniving they are. They set the scene. Narcissists, they set the scene. Narcissistic people, they set the scene. Remember, it's all about them. It's all about what they can benefit from a situation, what they can benefit from you. Okay? From you. And if you're not giving it to them and you ask them, well, how could you do this? How could you do that? I don't understand. You're supposed to be my friend, or you're supposed to be my lover, or you're supposed to be my family. They're always going to have a reason, because they prepare themselves for your reaction. Remember, they're looking for your reaction. So if they're looking for your reaction and they're looking for you to say something or, get out of pocket with them, they're already prepared. Understand that. They already come prepared, completely prepared for what you're going to say and how you're going to do things. It's when you surprise them, and by that, you pretty much go no contact. You keep yourself away from them. You don't deal with them anymore, because, narcissists are black and white, in case you didn't notice. Their mentality is black and white. So it's either 0 or 100, but there's no in between for them. There's no in between for them. So if you're not giving them the attention they want, if you're not doing what you are supposed to do as a friend or as a partner or even as a relative, okay? Especially with the relatives. So if you have narcissists in your family, your loyalty is to them. No matter how wrong they are in situations, you are to be loyal to them. And if you sit there and tell them, no, you're wrong, I don't agree with you, I don't agree with what you're doing, what they're going to do is they're going to basically try to discredit you, and they're going to try to call you out as being, you know, a disloyal family member. Well, blood is supposed to be thicker than water. Blood is supposed to be thicker than water. You're supposed to be on my side. You're supposed to be the one supporting me. You're supposed to be the one who takes care of me. You're supposed to be the one who stays by my side no matter who it is against me or who it is I'm against. Your loyalty is to them. However, their loyalty is to themselves. And it don't matter if it's your mother. It don't matter if it's your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your cousin, your grandfather, doesn't matter. A narcissist is a narcissist. So it does not matter who the person is. If they're a narc, their loyalty is to themselves, not to you. Okay, let me just go to some comments. Sociopathic is usually what I end up running into. Shaking my head, sociopath diagnosed, ex almost murdered me. I escaped. Never will look backwards either. Madison, that's tough. That really is tough. And sociopaths, people tend to overlook sociopaths. They're guys, you got to remember something. It's not just narcissism, okay? That's like just the beginning stage of it. All right. If you have someone who's on the spectrum and you have someone who is an actual narcissist and they're borderline sociopathic, you know, you got to remember something. Sociopaths, one, are worse than narcissists. Okay. They're a lot worse. The further you go on the spectrum, the worse it's going to get. You know, you have narcs, you got sociopaths, and then you got psychopaths. Okay, so if you dealt with a narcissist and you're dealing with the bare minimum, imagine dealing with a malignant, someone closer to the sociopath. Okay, and again, the sociopath is in between. They're in between a narc and a psychopath. So dealing with someone of this nature is extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. And 9 out of 10 times, sociopaths have a very deep history of mental health illnesses in their family. Whether, you know, because sociopaths, it runs under its own personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder. Okay. And these are the types of people that are extremely, extremely disturbed, but they're very conniving. They are no different from a narcissist when it comes to charming you. They're no different from a narcissist when it comes to luring you in and giving you the impression that, you know, I'm the sweetest person you'll ever meet. You think a sociopath is really going to win your trust by having that rage right in front of you the first day they meet you? No. Ted Bundy is a freaking sociopath. He was a sociopath, a narcissistic one at that. And I mentioned this before. Okay, you guys know how many people Ted Bundy killed. Thankfully, there were a few survivors who managed to survive his killing spree, but he killed a lot of people. And in his downfall, besides, of course, killing all these women, was his ego, because his narcissism was so deep that when he tried to defend himself, he didn't even use a lawyer. He went and tried to defend himself because he thought his narcissistic charm was going to win everybody over. His ego actually made it worse for him, because when he was using his egotism in the courtroom, the judge saw through his bullshit. And the judge looked at him like, if you don't sit your ass down, like that's how pissed the judge was getting. I watched the documentary on Ted Bundy, and I watched when he was in the courtroom trying to defend himself, trying to say that he was being singled out, trying to say that he was being discriminated against. He was trying everything in the book to try to convince the judge and jury that he was innocent, that it was the police department. It was, it was just deflecting blame on everybody. Never mind the fact, Your Honor, that I killed these women. Remember that black or white? That black or white is pretty much 0 or 100. It's either or, but there's never any in between. Okay. And in his case, his black or white was, well, I didn't do this and blah, blah, blah. And it was the police department and so forth and so on. And, and instead of really looking at that gray area, because he was even surprised that he was convicted, he was surprised that he got the death penalty. He's looking at it like, I thought I gave myself a good defense. Meantime, in that documentary, the judge told him quite a few times, do not interrupt me when I'm talking. You do not, I'm the judge. I say what goes. You are out of line. You are out of order. And he was just basically, he was getting really, but that narcissism, that ego that he had, and because the judge was not giving in, it started to, because remember, when you're not giving into a narcissist, it starts to build up and you start seeing that mask slip. And plenty of times they saw the mask slip. And look at what happened. Look at what happened. He thought he was getting away with it, guys. He literally sat there and thought, I'm going to go home tonight after killing all these women because I did a good job and I argued my case. And man, to the electric chair he went. And that was exactly what his fate was. Give me 1 second, guys, because I have to. I'm trying here. I have to get a new camera. I'm gonna get a new. Okay, good. But yeah. Mary, coming up 10 months free, was involved for 5 months, first experience, and hopefully it'll be your last. Hopefully that will be your last. Hopefully you learn from this, and now you know how to discern. Now you know how to see the red flags. You know how to look for the signs. You know how to do what is necessary to make sure that if you see something you don't like, you call someone out on it. That's another thing, guys. Call them out on their shit. If you're dealing with someone and you're not quite sure, call them out on it. Call them out. Say, listen, you know what? And you don't have to be like crazy. You don't have to say, oh, well, get all like in their face and be, belligerent. You can say, listen, you did X, Y, and Z, and it made me feel some kind of way. And I want to know what that's all about. Wait for the reaction. The first reaction is always the honest one, guys. Okay? The first reaction, unless you are dealing with someone who's trained, who sits there and knows how to answer you At the end of the day, if they sit there and say, well, I'm sorry I made you feel this way. I will try my best to do better next time. Still keep discernment, of course, because you got to do that with everybody. But if they answer you, because they like to twist the words around, and they like to use certain types of phrases. They like to use certain types of, ways of speaking to you, where it makes you feel like shit by the end of the conversation. Believe that or not. It makes you feel crappy. So if they do something and it made you feel some kind of way, you sit and you talk with them and you say, what you did something, it made me feel some kind of way, and I'd like to talk about it. If you hear them tell you, well, I'm sorry that you feel that I did X, Y, and Z to make you feel like A, B, and C, that's manipulation. Okay? Just letting you know. You have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to how they speak. Pay attention to the words. Pay attention to how they speak, the words, and the order that they put everything in, because they will create they will utilize such manipulation. If you find yourself feeling like shit by the end of that conversation, or if you find yourself apologizing to them for saying what was on your mind, for saying how you felt, and you were not belligerent, you were not physical, you were not trying to argue about anything. You find yourself arguing by the end of that conversation, you were just manipulated. Just remember that. Joshua, is this such thing a narcissist or a sociopath with morals? I would like to say yes. Unfortunately, no. No, Joshua, they don't have. If they have morals, and people tend to think morals only means what it involves, like sex and intimacy and things like that. No, they don't have a conscience. Okay, they don't have a conscience. They're conscious, but they don't have a conscience. They like to give the impression that they have morals. They use their egotism, they use their arrogance, they use their need to be the best and have the best, and they try to manipulate people to believe that it's simply their self-esteem is above average, and they're okay with that. It's self-love. It's just setting standards for themselves. They manipulate people to believe that. When it boils down to morals, morality, a lot of narcissists are, one, they're cheaters. Okay? A lot of them are. There's no denying that. They are. They will go behind your back. They'll sleep with your best friend. They will sleep with your relative. They will sleep with your homies. And at the end of the day, it's because of the attention. It's the supply that they're getting. Okay? They value supply. Do you have morals if all you really do is value supply? No, you don't. You don't. People of this nature do not have morals. They like to give that impression, but they do not have morals. And just because, and let's get one thing straight, guys, just because someone may be picky, okay, does not mean they have morals. It simply means you do not meet the criteria that I have set for myself to make me look better, make me look good. Okay? That is how they are. So if someone is like, I'm really picky, they're really picky about the type of people they get involved with, because they need to get involved with people that are going to make them look good, but won't outdo them, won't outshine them. But no, Joshua, they don't have morals. They don't have morals. They don't have any form of a conscience. And not to be confused, like I always say, not to be confused with not being conscious, because they are completely aware. They are completely coherent to what they are doing. They just do not give a shit. And that's the layman's terms of it. Hi, Chatan. Okay, let's see. Oh, Chatan, I'm glad you're feeling better as well. I'm glad you're feeling better as well. This COVID thing is just really, it's just too much. It is really too much to handle. It's like, damn, you got to deal with narcs and a pandemic. Can we have either or? Like, seriously, like. But I'm glad you're feeling well as well, sweetheart. Nim, I don't think you can heal. You just have to manage it and let it get numb as time goes on. And once you figure out what they are, it makes you cope easier. Well, that's, yeah. But again, it's healing is possible. It is possible because, a lot of people have healed. You just don't forget. You don't forget, because people, who, and it's funny because, at the end of the day, you are going to go numb for a while. You will go numb for quite a while, where you don't want to be in a relationship. You don't want to be with anyone. You don't want to be romantically involved. You don't want to be involved with certain people. You do go numb. That is normal. It's normal because you've experienced a very traumatic experience. And, people might look at you and say, "Oh, well, it's not like it was, like you were in an accident. It's not like you were, you know, uh, kidnapped," whatever the case may be. It does not matter what the nature, it does not matter the cause, it does not matter how it happened. It's a traumatic experience. Narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse. It's all traumatic. And by traumatic, it's all based off of the trauma from the parties that are involved in the dynamic. The narcissist has trauma. I'm sure you've had your own trauma. Okay, you've had your own trauma, but now because you were in a relationship with a narcissist, you had to take on their trauma. You had to take on all the stuff that was going on with them. Though you didn't ask for it, you had to take it. And at the end of the day, healing is possible. Time does heal. But just like he says, you learn to cope with it. You learn to understand, when you reach that point, I understand what I experienced. I understand what it was for. I can now utilize what I learned from this to discern better in the future. Should I decide I want to be involved with someone? Should I decide I want to be in a relationship? Should I decide I want to re-engage with my family? Should I decide I want to allow this person, this friend, back in my life? Or if I make anyone else my friend? You do learn to cope better with it because over time, how you're numbing. I went through that. I went through the numbing process, and by numbing, everybody numbs differently. I did slightly go through the numbing process. But how I did mine was I became closer with God. And not to say that that's a numbing process, but this experience pushed me closer, so much closer to God, because throughout it all, he reassured me that I was going to be okay. I needed to go through it. I suffered codependency. I suffered a bad case of codependency. I had to go through it. He basically helped me to understand, Erica, you needed to go through this. Here's the thing, Erica, you have been going through this throughout your life. But I had to make sure that this precise person, this precise situation had to really push me beyond my trigger points. And it did. It pushed me way beyond. I had been in relationships where the person treated me like crap. I've been in, relationships where they cheated on me, they lied, they stole from me, they did all kinds of stuff. They treated me like crap. And the minute they threatened to abandon me, the minute they threatened to leave me, I got triggered. My fear of abandonment got triggered. And when you're a codependent and you are in a relationship with a narcissist, with a narcissistic person, a manipulator, or just a very toxic person in general, when you are a codependent and that person threatens to leave or says, I don't want to be here anymore, gives you whatever excuse, whatever reason that they no longer want to be with you, it triggers your trauma. It triggers your fear of abandonment. This is why you cling tighter to the person. This is why you cling tighter to the individual. Because when they're threatening to leave, They're threatening to let you go. That fear of being left, that fear of being alone, that fear of losing the person that you made your entire world. You made that person your entire world. You made that person your entire focus. When they threaten to leave, when they discard you, when they reject you, it's a trauma that is being triggered within you. That's why you cling. That's why you can't let it go. That's why you feel the need to try to overcompensate and outdo everything that you have ever done, trying to do better for the person, trying to show the person you're a better fit, you're a better option, trying to show them that you can be and do anything they want you to be and do. I was just in my case, that was my trauma. I clung, I held on, I couldn't let him go. I couldn't let the idea of losing the man that I love go because, honestly, guys, because I was rejected as a child, emotionally, mentally. I was rejected as a child. And because of that, that put my fear. That was my fear base. That was something that I had to let go. I had no self-love. I had no self-awareness. I had no self-esteem. I could not, for the life of me, let go. No matter how bad this person talked to me, no matter how nasty they got with me, no matter how disgusting they were. He said some pretty brutal shit, guys. He said some very hurtful things. He disrespected me. He disregarded me. He degraded me. He made me feel this small. I felt so small, okay? I felt so small that an ant looked like King Kong to me. And that was because my trauma, that discard was what triggered my trauma. And because he kept pushing and he kept rejecting, I kept clinging and I kept trying to hold on to him. And because of the fact that that rejection was hitting me, it brought up my trauma of being rejected when I was a child. I was, you know, I felt rejected throughout most of my life. I felt rejected. And I felt like nobody understood me. I felt emotionally just emotionally impotent. I was emotionally, and it was amazing how I could still be who I was. I could still be, an empathetic person. I can still be someone who was a caring person, a loving person. But if any of you have experienced that during the discard, and you found yourself clinging on to it, and you found yourself that you couldn't let it go, and you kept trying, and you would hit them up, and you would constantly throw yourself at them, and they would constantly reject you, and they would constantly push you away, and they would constantly hurt you and disrespect you and make you feel this, put my hand, this small. That's because it triggered a trauma that you had, whatever that trauma was. Whether you were rejected by your mother, whether you were rejected by your father, whether you just as a child were not emotionally connected to your parents, whatever the case may be, that triggered your trauma. And that's why I tell you guys, you don't really love the narcissist. It was attachment. You were still attached to the narcissist. You were attached to them because of your fear, that fear base. You were attached to them because you were in a relationship with someone who tied to you based on trauma. You see how it makes sense? You see how if you look back at everything, look back at your discard. If it doesn't trigger you, look back at your discard and see everything See everything that happened. You know, don't stay stuck on it, but think about it. Just think about it for a second. Think about the discard. Think about everything that happened, right? And then ask yourself, why did this happen? Why did I allow this to happen? And I'm not saying that you made them do what they did. Why did you allow this to happen to you? And why did you allow it for so long? Why did you allow the manipulation and everything for so long? Okay? Screw them. This is about you. Why did I let this happen so long? Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I go back to it? Go back to your discard for a split second. And it'll make so much more sense. It'll make way more sense for you. And you'll be able to understand. Okay, this person was rejecting me. He did this, he did that, he did this. And you sit there and wonder, but why was I holding on? Why was I holding on? Trauma bonding, exactly. Why was I holding on? If this person rejected me 5, 6, 7, 8 times, why did I keep going back? Why? And it's because there was an inner trauma in you that was holding on to their trauma. That was your trauma bond. That was your trauma bond. I get into this, guys. I get more and more deep into this because you guys know I'm studying psychology. And the more I think about it, I mean, I don't like to sound preachy, but I feel like a preacher when I talk to you guys, because it's like, you know how the pastor when you know they're speaking and it's making sense and everybody's like amen and hallelujah and it's making, yes, this makes so much sense. That's kind of how I feel when I like touch certain subjects and I'm like, okay, and then it leads to something else and then something bigger and then something bigger and then boom, complete breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why we have these weekly chats. That's the reason why, because I got to keep you guys motivated and I got to keep you guys in the groove of things. I got to keep you guys still flowing with things. So even if it means revisiting certain things, you're only revisiting. Remember, you're only visiting. You're not there to stay. So you go visit, look around, okay, bring your pen and pad with you, take your notes. Okay, I remember this, I remember that. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to figure this shit out. Then you leave. You leave that and go back to your space where you are now and then figure it all out. You figure it all out and you're like, okay, so I remember this and that and boom, and you connect all those dots. You connect all those dots and that's where you learn. So if I change this about myself and I change that about myself, and remember, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for you. But if I heal my codependency, if I heal my childhood trauma, if I heal this and I heal that and I take care of this and I take care of that, man, just let me know when the wedding is. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Madison, let me you know, it's so much. It's so much to learn. It's just so much. And at the end of the day, it's like we are here to not only help one another, we're here to teach one another. We're here to experience with one another. We are here to support one another. We're here to be just be the support that someone else, you know, who's in this room, who's on this channel, just be that support. You know, be that support. You have people who go through narcissistic abuse and they can't even rely on their own friends. And these are people they grew up with. These are people that they come to the channels and they talk to other people who have gone through what they went through because they understand. And it's amazing how you can learn so much from a complete stranger. And yet, I'm not saying your friends ain't shit, but at the end of the day, if they can't sit there and help you in your healing process, then yeah, your friends ain't shit. You understand? But it's nice to know that I'm here, but it's nice to know that other people are here with me and are willing to help, other people as well, giving their experience, giving their input, giving their insight. That's what this is for. That's what this is about. It's being that support for one another. And it's being there to create those waves. You know what happens when you start to create waves? You start to drown out a lot of the bullshit. You drown out a lot of the bullshit, and you get people to really open their eyes and see things for what they really are. Because we have children. We don't want our kids to go through this. Okay? The generational curses stop here. They stop here with us. I refuse to let my son ever go through something like that. My son will never feel rejected. My son will never be rejected by me. And no matter how long it takes, if my son spends the rest of his life with me, then so be it. I created him. I brought him into this world, and I love him more than life itself. And at the end of the day, I will not pass on to my child my traumas, my issues, my dysfunctions. I'm not doing it. I need to do this for him, just like you need to do it for your children and your future children and your future generations. That's the most important thing. Madison Erica, I wonder why these individuals pick people with abandonment problems. People that have suffered from physical abuse or sexually abused, it is like a target for these toxic folk. Well, a lot of narcissists pick people who are caregivers, okay? And a lot of caregivers are ones who have abandonment issues. So basically, the people who take on the caregiver roles are the ones who, at a very young age, for example, if they grew up in, let's say, in single households, this is why they say the male role in a child's life is important. Okay, it's as equally important as the female role. Okay, both parents, whether together or not, the child needs both parents. But in this situation, if the child has a narcissist mother, and let's just say the father, couldn't deal with the mother, whatever the case may be, he decided to leave. But the father doesn't necessarily want to leave the child. He just wants to leave the mother. If the child has a narcissist mother, more than likely that narc mother is going to keep the father from the child. And clearly, narcissist mothers, which I will explain in the video as well, narcissist mothers will manipulate their children to believe that the father abandoned them. The father wants nothing to do with them. When the reality is, the father wants nothing to do with the mother, nothing to do with their children. But because the mother wants the upper hand and she's highly manipulative, she will convince, hi, Butch, she will convince her children that the father, he just left. He wants nothing to do with you. I'm your mother. I'm the one who's going to take care of you. I'm the only one who has your back. And that's farthest from the truth. But narcissists pick people that are the caregivers, the people that give, the people that are genuine, the people that are, they're basically people pleasers. They pick these types of people because they look at them as being weak and easy to control. So if you have someone who has abandonment issues and you have someone who is a narcissist, and let's throw in a third party, you have someone who is highly secure. I explain the different types of attachment styles, guys. The videos on my channel. If you'll understand the difference of each. But if you have someone who is highly secure, highly insecure, which is the one with the abandonment issues, and the narcissist in the same room, which one do you think the narcissist is going to go for? Is he going to go for the one that's secure in themselves, confident, and won't put up with shit? Or is he going to go for the one who's the people pleaser, the caregiver, the one who wants to just see everybody happy, the one who wants to just make everyone happy, and all they want in return is appreciation, a little nugget of appreciation? Which one you think the narc is going to go for? Narcissists don't like rejection. Narcissists don't like to be called on their shit. They damn sure attachment has no problem putting someone in their place when they are wrong. Someone up walks on eggshells. They walk on eggshells so they won't upset the person, so they won't make the person mad, so the person won't lash out on them, so the person won't leave them. Someone who's a people pleaser will be more accepting. Hi, hello, kitty. They'll be more accepting to that reward punishment behavior because it's basically the person won't leave me. They're people fear. You have people who fear being alone. You have people who fear abandonment, that they will put up with abuse. They will stay with someone who is emotionally, mentally, and even physically abusive because they have a fear. Everything is fear-based. But the minute someone who is insecure, codependent, and fears abandonment goes through the motions and the healings, and they become secure, they become more confident, they become more self-loving, they actually know their value, they know their worth, they love themselves so much to the point that they won't put up with anybody's shit. The narcissist won't deal with them again. Because at the end of the day, that person managed to heal their trauma, that person managed to get through their emotions, and the narcissist is still that child in an adult's body. Because narcissists, they don't think they need the help. They won't go for it. They don't think they have problems. So all they really are, walking adult children, man child, woman child, what have you. They won't go for the they might try it on someone of a secure attachment. They might try their bullshit, but someone of a secure attachment, someone who knows their value and their worth and they know what they deserve, the minute they see some shit, or the minute they see the narcissist is, nah, that shit don't rock with me. I'm not feeling that. And they try to call the narcissist out on their shit. That's when the narcissist goes into complete defensive mode. And they will try to attack that person verbally, mentally, publicly, physically, social media wise. I mean, they'll do anything to try to discredit that person because that person saw a lot sooner beyond the mask than someone who has codependency issues. Makes sense, right? Cicely, I know I did. I felt so much like a sucker chasing her, even though I knew better logically. Yeah, it's trust me, people will sit there and tell you, dude, what are you doing? Like, you see what she's doing. Why? It's something that you don't understand at that point. It's something you don't understand at that time. But understand now, it was a trauma. There was something being triggered in you. It was something being triggered in you. Logically, let's put it this way. It took a while for your brain to reach up to your heart. Okay? Your heart was doing the walking, was doing the talking, was leading you. Your heart was just pretty much, your heart had you on a leash. Okay? And your heart was chasing that person around everywhere they went, going through the social media, looking through the things and everything. Okay? Your brain was like about a good 100 miles back. Okay? And your heart was pretty much like, no, let's go here. Let's go there. Let's check this out. Let's look at that. Let's do this. Let's do that. And what did we learn about the heart, guys? The heart is treacherous. The heart is about desire, whether it's good or bad. The heart wants what it wants. Your brain, that's why they say you're going to use your heart, take your brain with you, because your brain is about logic. It's about, dude, stop for a second. Okay? When your brain finally caught up to you, your brain was saying, stop, relax. You had me run 100 miles. Okay? So now you are going to listen to me. You understand? And your brain is basically now sitting you down and is talking to you, is informing you on the logic of the situation. That's how you're able to, you're able to begin your healing, you're coping, you're able to begin accepting, you're able to, you know, move forward with things. Because all too often when you're dealing with someone in a relationship, especially when you let your heart do all of the leading for you, bro, these people know. They know when you put your heart into things. There's a reason why they chose you. Okay? They know when your heart is in something. They know when you are, listen, you think you I have to laugh sometimes, guys, because before I never was able to laugh about it, but now I do. It's not a laughing matter, but at the same time it is, because they're jokes. The people like this are complete jokes, okay? They are clowns. That is what they are, okay? But think about it. When a narcissist in your relationship, when you were dealing with them, and they had that Jekyll and Hyde, right? Where one minute they're talking to you like crap, they're putting you down, they're talking down to you, or they're being really nasty with you, they're being really rude to you. They saw you weren't going anywhere. Well, this person's not going anywhere. And then the next minute they're being sweet and kind and lovey-dovey and hugging you and kissing you and I love you. We're going to spend the rest of our lives together. We're going to do all this together. And then the next minute, they're back to their nasty, rude, crude behavior. And then they're back to, they are simultaneously trained. They're training you. They were training you to fit their needs. They were training you to accept abuse. They were training you to succumb to that, to bow down. They were training you to give in your self-respect, your whatever little bit of self-love you had, if you had any. Okay? They were training you to question your self-esteem, question whether or not you had any kind of value in this dynamic. Okay? They were training you to be their guinea pig. And it sounds really sucky hearing it like that, but that's what they were doing. And they were training you to pretty much control you. And unfortunately, a lot of us fell for it. A lot of us did, you know? And the reason they did all this to you was because this all was done to them. Believe that or not. Believe that or not, this was all done to them. And it's kind of like, you know, when they say children repeat what they see, they repeat what they hear, they repeat what they learn. They were basically doing to you what was done to them, what was done between their parents, whatever their environment was. They were training you to be adaptive to the environment that they were creating. You know, they were creating for you to live in, to be in. And unfortunately, yeah, they got away with a lot of stuff. But in the end, I'm a firm believer. I'm a huge believer in karma. In karma, I'm a huge believer in you reap what you sow. I'm a huge believer in you will get what you give. And maybe not in the way you gave it, but you're going to get what you give in a way that what you valued most, whether it be superficial, whether it be, you know, materialistic, whatever, what you value most, that's going to be taken away from you. Whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. Okay? And this is why I encourage survivors to continue doing the right thing. Continue surviving. Continue making people aware. Continue doing the right thing in your life. Don't become like these people. Don't let them and their behaviors and everything they did affect you as a person, okay, in a negative way. If it's going to affect you, let it affect you in a positive way where you're creating a difference. You are creating peace in your life. You are setting up boundaries. You're doing all of the things that you have to do to make it healthy for you. They're going to still pay for whatever it is they did. And trust me, God leaves no stone unturned. So don't worry about that. Do what you have to do for you. Okay? But this is all you know what this has to do with, and I've learned this in psychology, guys. Okay? I learned this in psychology, and I learned this under Sigmund Freud. I'm going to put it in the I'm going to pin it in my comment section. But this is an overactive. Narcissists have what's called, it's like an overactive id. Okay, it's ID, id. And what that is that's a part of our brain. I was talking to Amanda about this. It's a part of our brain that, because you have the id, you have the ego, and then you have the super ego. Okay. Hi, Logan. But the id is the part of the brain that is the desirous part of the brain. So basically, as children, I'll give you an example of the id. As children, babies, when we're babies, the part of our brain that's functioning is the id. It's what we want, our desires and things to that effect. So when a baby is crying, whether they be hungry, whether they need a diaper change, whether they need attention, whether they want you to pick you up, whatever the case may be. When a baby is crying, what's the first reaction? The parent or an adult, they pick up the baby, they soothe the baby, they carry the baby, they rock the baby, they feed the baby, they change the baby. So now what the baby has picked up is, my crying gets me what I want. And that's the id of the brain. That's the id part of the brain. So the baby now knows that if I cry, naturally, a baby screaming, crying at the top of their lungs, nobody wants to deal with it. But it basically automatically triggers a response from the adult to tend to the baby. Narcissists have an overactive id. They're still stuck in that stage. Okay? They're stuck in that stage. They're stuck in the stage of, I'm not getting what I want. Therefore, I'm going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, or whatever the case may be. And this is if you're in a relationship with them. I'm throwing a tantrum. I'm acting this way. I'm doing whatever. And what did we do in the relationship? We soothed them, right? They had a nasty attitude. They had a bad day. So what did you do? You did what you could to make their day become a little better. They wanted something really bad and they're sitting and complaining about it. Oh, I really wanted this and blah, 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 blah. What did you do? You went and got it for them. Okay? They're noticing you are willing to please them. People pleasing, guys. You were willing to be the people pleaser. And they noticed that each and every time they complained about it, each and every time they threw a fit about something, you would break your back to try and soothe them so they can stop their whining, so they could stop their crying, so they can, stop complaining. Stop being miserable. Why are you so miserable? I'm doing everything. I'm breaking my back. I'm killing myself to try to please you and make you happy. And it's constant. It's an overactive id. And I'm learning more about it. And I'll, probably next week talk more about it with you guys. The more I dig into it and the more I read into it. But understand that and if you don't believe me, which you guys know me, I'm taking psychology, but just if you want to check for yourselves, go to Google, okay, and type in ID, or the id of the brain, the ID of the brain, and it'll tell you plain as day that that is a part of the brain that basically babies use to trigger the reaction of an adult, or when they want something, when they desire something. And once they've learned that my crying, my complaining, my fidgeting, my throwing a tantrum gets me what I want, that's the same thing with the narcissist, guys. Same exact thing. I hope I'm making sense for you guys. I really do hope I'm making sense. I usually like hi Logan. No, honey, I didn't. I trimmed it. But I wear extensions. So the long hair is in my drawer. Okay? It's in my drawer. Oh, Cicely, you're right. Really trying to train us to accept it quietly without causing them problems, without calling them on their crap, without saying, yo, this isn't right. I'm not dealing with it. Because believe it or not, guys, they feared you abandoning them before they abandoned you. All right? Because how a narcissist is, they have to leave you before you leave them. Okay? They have to discard you before you discard them. And the way they're going to do that, I said it before, I don't mind saying it again, because we have some new people that come in. Either they have run you ragged, okay? They've pushed every button they could possibly push, and they have crossed every boundary they could possibly cross, and you have not gone anywhere. You're still there. They got bored with you, and that's why they decided to discard you. Or they have it in their mind that you are going to discard them. You're going to break off with them. You're going to leave them. So they have to leave you first. They have to abandon you before you abandon them. And narcissists have that victim mentality. So if you decide, no, you're bullshit, everything you're doing is wrong, and I'm not putting up with this, I'm out, I'm leaving. Oh, guess what? You are the one who abandoned them. You are the one who abandoned them. Okay? So just remember that. Just remember that as well. Okay. Madison, yes, so true. They tried to take God from me, and I'm so thankful that nobody has the ability, because they can take it all away from me, but no matter what, they can't take God from me. Absolutely. 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 Especially people who walk with God. We're not perfect. We're not perfect by any means. He's working on us. He's still using us. He's using us as his tool. He, and in whatever way, listen, I deliver messages to you guys, maybe not in the way he would personally want me to say it, but I deliver messages to you guys because it comes from the heart, and it comes from a space of, I actually care. I actually care. I care about you guys, and I care that you guys make it through in this lifetime, man. You guys still got so much to learn in life, and the last thing anybody needs to be doing is staying stuck and feeling worthless, and just staying in this mind frame of, I can't wrap my head around this. The point of it is to help help with the healing process, but to help kind of move you on to the next stage and help you, get on with that. That's the main important thing. And even if you've done your healing and you are with someone new and you do have your happily ever after, hey, you want to swing by and say hello? I have people who have gone through their emotions. They have been following the channel like since it first started. They have been, they've been healing, they've been doing what they had to do, and they still reach out. They still peek in, they still say hello. Hey, Erica, I did my healing. I'm doing great. I'm happy. And, I don't don't watch videos on narcissism anymore because I don't have to, because I know what I have to do, but I want to reach out and say hi to you and see how you're doing. And I am super okay with that, because there are new victims every single day. There are always going to be new victims, unfortunately. There's always going to be new ones. So that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. Not to keep you stuck here, not to keep you, although I love the company, guys. I love you guys being here. I love all of you sharing and becoming more involved and giving your feedback, but it's to help get you to the next stage. It's help to get you to the next level that you're supposed to be in. And that's the goal. Oh, Mary, you're very welcome, and thank you. Nim, what about if they met someone else? It would be the same thing. It would be the same thing. These are the people who do not change. They don't change, okay? The only thing they change are their victims. They don't change their tactics. Why would they have to change their tactics if it's someone new? They would have to change them if they were trying to hoover you back in, because you already saw everything that, that went down with them. But when it boils down to someone new, they don't have to change anything, because that person does not know what you know. They have not experienced what you have experienced. They haven't gone through any of it. So if they are with someone new, the only thing you can do, listen, because at the end of the day, chances are the person that they, whether they left you for someone else or, just decided to bounce on to the next person, chances are, one, they fill that person's head up with stories about you, okay? Especially if there's a chance of you, maybe possibly exposing them to that person. So they have to get to that person before you do, or any other victim. But chances are they probably filled their heads up and gave them stories about you, and have already convinced the new person that you are the one who's the manipulator, the abuser, the toxic one. You were the insecure one, you were the jealous one, you were the one who's the cheater, you were the liar, you were everything. Exactly. But they're filling that person's head up because they need that person to be on their side if ever anything happens. If ever you try to confront the narc, or if you try to, say anything about them, they need that person to be against you and on their side. So that way, if the time ever came, you had opened your mouth or you said anything, that person will be like, well, yeah, he or she, yeah, they told me that you would, go to the extremes. Like, the new person will literally be sitting there thinking, oh my God, like, he didn't want to be with you, or she didn't want to be with you anymore. Why can't you just get over them? Like, move on already. And little do they know, I personally just prefer to sit here and sip my tea. If that's how you want to act. Listen, if you guys want to warn someone, hey, try to warn them, Listen, I'm all for trying to help. But the minute someone tries to tell you, oh, you're just jealous, they don't want to be with you, they want to be with me, you just can't handle it, you can't take the fact that, okay, that's what you think, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Little do they know. They don't know. They don't know. Oh, so you want to sit here? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you out and telling you that this is what this person is about. And you want to sit here and be like, oh, keying and laughing and, oh, yeah, she's just jealous. He's just jealous. That person don't want them no more and they just can't. Cool beans. Cool beans. Guess you're going to have to find out yourself. And then what they'll end up doing, they'll end up probably even reaching out to you like, oh my God, I didn't know. No. And if you anything like me, I don't know you. I don't know you. I tried helping you. I tried warning you. You didn't want to listen. Cool. I'm jealous, right? I'm jealous. I'm insecure. I'm the one who can't get over the person. I'm the one who can't let the person go. I'm talking all this and I'm saying all that because I'm delusional. I'm the liar. I'm the cheater and this and this and that. Listen, those masks, those masks are no joke, man. They're no joke. And I learned that learning so much more about narcissism and learning so much more about the after effects and everything entangled with it, I learned, like, once I see a red flag, I'm like, you are as red as my hair. Get away from me. That's the way I am. That's the way I am. I'm not bothering. I am not bothering. So be on the lookout for those red flags too, guys. And if you're not sure, if you don't know, I'm one who does not just prejudge anyone. I don't just sit there and say, oh yeah, that person's this and that person's that. You have to give me a good, amount of information for me to be able to understand and possibly help in a situation. I try my best not to do things from a biased place because, everybody's different. But when it boils down to people and you're not sure, reach out to the tribe, ask questions. And we'll be more than glad to help you out. We'll be more than glad to give you our honest opinions. Do you have to take it? No, you don't. You don't have to take my opinion. You don't have to take any of it. But if you just want to hear what I would have to say about it or what someone would have to say about it, just, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. If we all knew the right kinds of questions to ask, especially certain type of people, but we don't know these things. We didn't know these things before. We didn't know any of those things. We just thought that, this person was just having a bad day, or, if you're a guy dealing with a female narcissist, oh, maybe she's on the rag. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you got to just look at it this way. Different people have different personalities. And whether they be personality disorders, mental health issues, what have you, you come first. All right? Be selfish with yourself. Don't be afraid to be selfish with yourself, especially when you're focusing on your self-love. You're focusing on your peace of mind, your mental health, your happiness. You're focusing on that. It's okay to be selfish with yourself because you come first, guys. Always have and you always will. So, my lovelies, my peoples. Cicely, let's take this one. I think my ex told us all she was so single and lonely. It's no telling what she said about me, if anything. You know what? Cicely? And at the end of the day, this would be my motto. What other people think of me is none of my business. None of my business. What people think of me is none of my business. What people say about me, none of my business. None of my business. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know who I am. And the people who matter to me, the people who are important to me, and the people who have value in my life, it's all that matters to me. All that matters to me. And at the end, all they're good at doing is talking. Oh, I'm sorry, Chatan. I did. There's because I get so caught up in it. And you guys know me. When I'm in it, I'm like, yeah. Hold on one second. Let me just go back real quick. I'll answer that question. If I can find it. I'm slipping, guys. I'm slipping. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to ask one thing, Erica. I was discarded 4 months ago, and now 3 years of no contact with my ex Narc. and I know a smear campaign run against me, but I blocked all the common people between us. What should I do? Shall I react or remain no contact? Okay, yeah, I was about to say he corrected it. Sorry, 3 months, not 3 years. I was about to say, wait, it happened 4 months ago, but it was 3 years. But thank you for correcting it. No, definitely remain no contact, sweetheart. Remain no contact. They're doing it because they want a reaction. That's why. They do a smear campaign because they want you to react. They want you to say something. They want you to do something. They want you to jump out of your character, and they want you to go off on them. That's what they want. And no reaction means you're not a thought. Means you are not worth the energy. It means you are just irrelevant. They don't like that. Okay. And they can keep going hard, and they can keep going ham, because what they're going to end up doing if they continue a smear campaign longer than anticipated, they people will eventually see that they are the ones who can't really seem to let go, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. So when it boils down to a smear campaign, let them talk. Let them talk. Any common friends you had with this person, first of all, if those friends were friends with this person before they were ever friends with you, if they are sitting on the fence, you need to cut them off. You need to cut them off. And I'm not saying this to, oh, well, they ain't shit or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people who sit on the fence are looking in both yards. Okay? They're looking in both yards. And if they were friends with that person before they were friends with you, you better believe they're looking in your yard and giving them the information over at the other yard. Okay? So I would strongly say that you need to keep no contact. Common friends, you block them. If you let them go, cut them off, do what you got to do. But I mean, I personally don't like people who sit on the fence, period, whether they, be common friends of an ex or a narcissist or whatever. I don't like people who sit on the fence. That's my preference. You're not sitting on the fence to look in my yard, and then, whatever you see going on in my yard, you're going to go run back and fill up their yard with all the stuff that's going on my side. No. But continue no contact. Continue no contact. People will eventually see, if they continuously run the smear campaign and they keep going and they keep going, and then eventually people are going to be like, really? It's been like 6 months. You're still talking shit about this person? This person is not saying 2 words to you. They're not even bothering with you. It's because they want the attention. They want your reaction. Narcissists do things to get a reaction. Okay? And the best reaction is what, guys? No reaction. Don't react to them, because then you'll just be feeding into it, and you'll be bringing yourself right back into that cycle. You don't want to do that. So after months, years of not reacting, they'll obsess over you. It's, exclusive. It's possible. It is possible. They're very obsessive people. I don't know if you noticed, a lot of narcissists, I'm guessing, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it's common, they have like obsessive compulsive disorder, or they have the tendencies. And if you notice how I was watching a movie with Amanda. We were watching, it was a thriller movie, but the person in the movie was clearly a psychopath. And this person, I don't know if you like notice in some movies where you see psychopaths, sociopaths, or whatever, they have like OCD, where everything has to be pristine, everything has to be neat, and it's like one little thing that's off, or one little thing that's out of place. Yeah, the dentist. One little thing that's out of place, it'll like, high conceited, it'll like throw them off. or like just make them cringe. They have like a OCD-ish type of mentality where it has to be everything in its place. Everything, nothing can be out of place. Nothing can be yeah. The name of the movie is The Dentist. It's kind of a twisted movie, guys, if you watch it. I think it's on Prime. Um but he was clearly a psychopath, in the movie. And he people of this nature, psychopathy, sociopathy, and I guess, can we call it narcopathy? Can we call it that, guys? I think I can call it that. People of this nature on the spectrum, they have, because remember, they had also probably very strict, very confined, and very stifling parents. So they probably had parents that were very abusive towards them if they did not maintain like cleanliness, a clean room, or if, things were out of place. And it was like yeah, yeah. So Mary, yeah, his place was spotless, no books, newspapers, magazines. And that's how a lot of them are. They're very like, you can go into their home and like everything is just pretty much like you won't see a thing out of place. A lot of psychopaths, a lot of sociopaths, and narcissists are like this. They have those. You would think they're OCD. You would think that they're OCD. Unfortunately, you have very non-narcissists, non-psychopaths, and non-sociopaths who actually have OCD. So a narcissist is just pretty much, on the spectrum of just like extremely, extremely pathological behaviors, manipulative behaviors, and they just, it's up a notch with the OCD. Madison, that's okay. Being a clean freak is not a problem. I mean, listen, there's a difference between messy and dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like my house may get messy, and because I have a child, and guys, I work. Sometimes I'm too damn tired. Sometimes I'm like, listen, I'll leave my clothes on my chair or whatever, and it happens. But you know being like completely like a control, because how control freaks are raised by control freaks, and not to like insult people, but that's just the only way we can put it. People who are of this nature are raised by people who were also raised with malignant backgrounds, very dark, cruel, abusive, cold, emotionless backgrounds. And it's, some people can say, well, they can't help themselves. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, because when you're hurting someone, when you're lying to someone, you are conscious, you are aware, you are coherent. Were you on drugs? Were you drunk? Were you high? Were were you shooting up? I mean, where in the whole dynamic were they not aware? Where were they not aware? It's bullshit. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise either. They don't know what they're doing. They're not bullshit with a capital B. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's decluttering the house, cleaning the house. My house is clean, messy most of the time. I have my stuff thrown all over the place because I do my studies and I do a lot of different things. But for the most part, and Amanda could tell you, because she knows how I am. She comes to my house very often. But for the most part, never had a problem with maintaining a pretty decent, pretty clean house. So that's that will never change. Cicely, man, so true. No shoes in the house and extra clean, always cleaning. Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, I'm not gonna put him on the spot like that, but my ex, when it was constant, like everything had to be in a certain place, everything had to be, in a certain way. Everything, like, guys, I don't know about you. When I go food shopping, I like to just just throw everything in the carriage. I throw everything in the cart. Like, I'm just like, listen, we got, as long as I keep the eggs and the bread, on the side, and I keep the meat separate because sometimes the meat bleeds, I throw everything else in the cart. I'm throwing in chips, I'm throwing in cookies, I'm throwing in the milk, I'm throwing everything in there. My ex used to reorganize. He would like put everything standing up, put it neatly, and I'm just like, what's the point? It's gonna go right onto the belt so it can be charged, but it's they have their tendencies. It's nothing we could do about that. I mean, you do, like I said, you have people who have OCD, non-narcissistic people, non-pathological people. They just, they have it's just a what is it called? It's a disorder. But narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths um, tend to have it worse, way worse. Mary, I never felt afraid until I heard a lower, demanding voice in my place. You know what, Mary, I can tell you this much, because narcissists, people of this nature, they are shapeshifters. They're very predictable, okay? Especially if you don't know anything about narcissism, you didn't know anything about it. They're very extremely unpredictable people, which, as much as we talk about it, guys, I can't tell you enough to be careful of these people, okay? They will be willing to go to extremes, whatever extremes those are. They would be willing to go to them, okay? Even the ones, and I'm going to go further and tell you guys, even the ones who have not contacted you, who have not reached out to you, whether it be days, months, or years, you still have to keep your guard up, no matter how long it's been. Watch your back. Keep your guard up, because they are the types that are unpredictable. You can go 3 years, you can go 5 years without speaking to them, and all of a sudden they can pop up out of nowhere. Always keep your guard up. Princess Judith, voodoo, black magic. Yes, you have those who deal with that too. They come from families that have been involved with the cults, with the dark arts. They are involved with, I mean, it's all one and the same for me, but they are involved with all that stuff. So be very careful with that as well. They like to get involved. They like to get involved with stuff like that. I personally don't get in the mix of that stuff, whether it be black magic, white magic, candle magic, or whatever. No, no, I don't. I can't. Yeah, witchcraft is not. We don't mess with that. I don't need to mess with that. You guys don't need to mess with that. People who mess with that kind of stuff are the kind of people who do not have good intentions. They really do not have good intentions. But if you notice, guys, people who deal with stuff like that, who like to deal with black magic, witchcraft, sorcery, things of that effect, one, they're inviting dark entities into their lives. Okay? And if you are dealing with narcissists who are like this, it's no wonder why they're so miserable. Because remember, when you're inviting the devil into your life, it's the devil's not your friend. You know what I'm saying? He's not your friend. He is not here to be your BFF. He's not here to come over and do your hair and paint your nails and love you like no other. He's not here for any of that. He is set to destroy you. He is set to destroy people, and he utilizes manipulation to destroy people. Okay? People can sit there and say, well, the devil made me do it. No, you trusted the devil, and what the devil did was the devil presented something to you. You had the free will to accept it. You had the free will to say no. You chose to accept it. It is what it is. That's what a lot of them, a lot of narcissistic people are dark people. They accept certain things. They allow that into their lives. Unfortunately, when the devil is trying to destroy people that are good, genuine people that can help change lives, that can help do things, that just look to be good people in the world, what do they say? When the devil wants to destroy you, what does he do? He sends you a narcissist. Keep that in mind. Oh, Princess, I can believe that. I can believe that. She says, my ex-narc's eyes turned completely black one day. I can definitely believe that. I can believe that. I saw a side to mine where I was like, it scared the living daylights out of me. It scared the crap out of me. I was just like, yeah, it was so bad. I heard the voice in my head like, get out, get out, because the way the way he presented himself, it was so scary that I was just like, ooh. I didn't recognize him. I did not recognize who this person was. I was like, you're not the person that I know. I know for a fact you are something else, not even someone else. You're something else. And I strongly, strongly believe that he has so many dark entities attached to him that it just, I don't know, imploded or whatever. And I'm no longer there. So that is no longer my concern. I don't want nothing to do with that. Yeah, no, Princess. It's definitely very scary. Yes, Nim, you absolutely can. You can tell when people have light in their hearts. And you'll know because you'll feel it off of them. You'll feel that you can feel their spirit. You can feel who they are as a person. And you'll know how to discern, how to, have my hair falling all over the place. You'll know how to discern them and, who to keep around you and who to keep at a distance. Yes, Madison, the evil smile and the psychopathic stare too. It's just something I never want to see again. Like for me, it's something I never want to see again. And I thank God each and every day. I don't know what would have happened. I don't know what would have happened if it would have gone any further. I really don't. I'm glad he pulled us. Remember, guys, you look at the discard from a painful point of view, and that's totally fine and it's perfect because you're a human and it was painful. But you also got to look at it like this. You were dealing with someone whose life is just involved with dark forces, dark energy, whatever you want to call it. And God pretty much took you out of that. Okay. And, it's like the post that I read. Sometimes, in order to show you that someone is no good for you, in order to show you that, someone is not meant to be in your life or not, God's going to let that person hurt you. He's going to let him hurt you so bad to the point where you have no choice but to let go. And a lot of the time, narcissistic discards are like that. Okay. God didn't cause it. He did not cause it, but he allowed it to happen because you have a much bigger purpose, and you've got so much more you need to accomplish. So just look at it as God was taking you away from someone that he's actually trying to protect you from. He's trying to protect you from someone who is being run and ruled by the devil. Okay? Because the devil will destroy you. And the devil will try their hardest. And by utilizing a narcissist, that's one way. That's one way of destroying someone. Yes. Yes. Nim says you can speak freely with them and they always want to listen and there is life in their eyes. Absolutely. Because it's a learning process. You learn so much with different people. You learn about experiences, you share experiences, you get to know people, you network, you basically create friendships. I created so many friendships since starting this channel. So many genuine friendships, so many nice people and just awesome people. Awesome people. And these are complete strangers that I've never spoken to a day in my life. We've never spoken. 2 years ago, we never spoke to each other, right? Even a year ago, we never spoke to each other. And look at where we are now. We're all here. We're all here and we're all talking to one another and we're all comforting and helping and chatting and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing how certain things happen in your life, but God has bigger plans. And God now, brings people together. This is how he brings people together. And it definitely is it's a wonderful experience, guys. For me, it definitely is a wonderful experience. Oh yeah. God was also showing us to trust in him because he will not abandon nor will he violate us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. Yeah, Nim. The devil will always be at his happiest when you're in pain. When you're in pain. So just remember that, guys. Okay. Rest assured, the narcissist may allow allow the devil in their life. But once the devil is done with them, once the devil says, all right, I used you for what I needed you for, now it's time for you. But remember, the devil's a jokester. He's a trickster. Okay. He'll convince these people. He'll convince these people. This is why they say, people sell their souls to the devil, although we can't sell our souls because technically they don't belong to us. But they turn to these forces, they turn to in not in literal sense, but they turn to the devil because they want to gain something in life and they don't want to work for it and they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to do anything. They just want to be handed things. This needs, I deserve this. I'm entitled to that. I should have this. I should have that. Who wants to? Hi, Andrea. Hi, Cicely. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you. And I'm glad you made it here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you are here, guys. It takes some, it takes a lot. But you know what? At the end of the day, as tired as I am, because guys, I am tired. I'm here for you guys because I know what it feels like. I know what you're going through. I know the pain. I know everything. And trust me, whatever we got to do to get through it, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to get through it. We're going to do it. We're going to get through it. And nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us. I thank God for technology because here we are. Here we are. And I'm glad that we do this weekly. We touch base with one another. We keep in contact with one another. We talk to one another. We comfort one another. And we just help one another. That's the important thing. It's the most important thing. And I hope I come close to whatever forms of therapy that you may need in your situation, because it's a lot to process and it's a lot to take in, but you will get through it. Absolutely. Absolutely, Nim. It does. It dilutes a lot because, you can come in with such a heavy chest and a heavy heart, and you can leave with comfort and hope and peace and knowing that next week I'm going to come back and I'm going to see everybody that I saw in this chat, everybody that was cool, and I'm going to get to talk to them and we're going to, meet up again, and it's not a clique. Guys, narcissists, they do things in cliques. We don't, it's open to anyone, open to everyone, open to anyone, and anyone will have their say so, will be heard. You will be heard. You're welcome, Chatan. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Oh, Cecilia, I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad that we are able to. Hi, Monique. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you. My brother lives in Texas. I know it's not Houston, but I know he lives in Texas somewhere. It's a huge state. I was actually supposed to move out there too, but thank you so much for being here. So you guys are awesome. Yes, Madison. And you know what? Oh, thank you, Stella. Thank you. I thank you, Mary. I thank you. And like I said, guys, if you ever want to reach out to me, you can email me. My email will be in the description box. You can send me a message on Instagram. However way, you want to leave a message, just shoot me a message if you have any questions, or, if you just need someone to talk to, or if you need anything, you can always reach out to me. I'm here. And, even if I may not be able to do it right away, but I will get back to you and I will speak with you on whatever it is that you want me to maybe help you with. And or if you need, just pointers or my insight or my input, and I'm non-judgmental. I won't judge you based on where you're at in your emotions, and I won't sit here and say, no, you're wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that. I could just give you the best unbiased logical response possible, because the focus is helping you guys heal. That's the focus. It's helping you guys heal. And if for the newbies, just so you know, when I speak with love. So if you catch me like with the trucker mouth, that's me. God's not done with me. Okay. And apparently, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just to kind of go off for a second. I don't really know if I trust people who don't curse. I mean, that's me. I'm sorry. I do tend to cuss a bit. I've calmed down though. I have calmed down, guys. I've calmed down a lot. Amanda can vouch for that. But just so you know, like when you get to know me, you'll know that I'm really I'm here for you guys. I'm not here for, I'm asking for anything, just to share the videos. If you need to share them, or if you need, if you know someone who needs the help, put them on, put them onto the channel, put them on to whatever it is, because you just never know. You just never know. And, but you guys are amazing. So I've made so many new friends and so many amazing people, and I hate to say it this way, but if there's anybody that I can say, I don't want to say it like this. I don't want to say I'm glad you guys went through it and here we are, we're all together. But, I wouldn't pick, I really wouldn't pick anybody else to go through the experience with. So it definitely is worth being here. Mister, I'm sorry. Can you close the door, please? Thank you. That's my son. And he's about to take a shower, so I know it's bedtime for him, and it's going to soon be bedtime for me. Thank you, Cicely, for being here. Thank you so much. Nim, definitely, if you want, you can shoot me an email. Amanda linked it, and of course, I'm gonna put it in the description box underneath when the live streams on YouTube. So definitely shoot me an email, or you can go to one of my other videos. The email's in the description box. All right, and you can email me anytime. Thank you. Oh, from Scotland. Wow, that's awesome. Nim, thank you so much for joining us. I definitely will try my best. The narc was so demanding, always trying to tell me what to do. You know what, Princess? They're very controlling people. Their thing is about having control, always being in control. And the fact that in certain relationships, when people are willing to submit, the minute they see that you're going to submit, the minute they see that their demands have some kind of control over you, it goes downhill from there. It goes downhill from there. And it's just important that you definitely stay away from them. Okay, I do hope you visit, like you join us on Tuesdays. You were able to join us. Yeah, it's not something that you can do. It's do as I say, not as I do. That's how they are. And, unfortunately, these are things that we each learned in the process, and we're learning more and more with each passing day. So I definitely, I definitely hope you're able to, stick around, and, next week, if you have any other further questions. But in the meantime, because I'm going to log off, if you have any questions, or if you have anything you want to add to it, you can always comment, and you can always shoot me an email. All right. I encourage any and everyone to message me if you just need someone to talk to. Okay. So guys, thank you again so much for each and every one of you for being here. Please be sure to give the live stream a like on the way out. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Okay. Aside from the beautiful comments that you guys leave me. Thank you so much, Princess. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're part of the family now. So, and you too, Madison. I haven't forgotten about you either. So guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will see you all next week. Same time, same place. We know how it goes. And in the meantime, I'm going to be working on. Again, I'll keep you posted if I'm going to do another live for the crash course of the female narcissist / sociopath, or if I'm just going to do the video and then just post it up. Either way, keep your notification bells on, keep your alerts on, so you're notified whichever route I go. I'll always keep you guys posted. Thank you so much, guys. Great night. And thank you everyone for being here. I can't stop thanking because I'm so appreciative for the love. You guys are awesome. I will see you all next week. Love you all. Have a great week. And love, peace, prosperity, all that good stuff. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.